Hello everyone, my name is Callior. I bring to you every week, or at least usually every week, the latest news related to Bloodhunt and everything that's around it, and I try to help explain the news in a way to better understand what is going on. So for posterity, archival, and recording purposes, it is currently Saturday, February 11th, 2023. It is currently 11:28 Eastern Time in the AM. It has been 291 days since the release of Bloodhunt, and currently activated in game is the permanent Nemesis Pass, and we are on the Hunting Rifle update. We are recording this live on Twitch, every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you're alive, feel free to ask questions in the chat. Yes, hit the like and subscribe button. Why not? Eventually, I might actually monetize my YouTube. We don't know. And I might be putting some more videos in there in the future. We never know. That depends what happens. As a reminder and disclosure, I'm not a game dev. I'm not bound by an NDA, but I'll do the best to explain what I can, to explain the news the best way I can with some reasonable assumptions. And also, as a now weekly reminder, I do not work for Sharkmob. Whoever thinks that I work with them, absolutely not. So stop saying that. The topics that we're going to cover today. Hello, Motion. We're going to talk about Twitch drops, just touch on the free Bloodhunt things. We're going to be talking about game updates. We're going to be spending some time talking about the matchmaking issue. A whole bunch of Bloodhunt related news, and we're going to touch on tournaments as well. Yeah, these are the topics for today. But first, if you're not already, please give me a follow. Even if you're not going to turn on notifications, it would mean a lot to me. I stream very casually during the week, whenever I feel like it and whenever I can. Again, it's been a hell week at work, so I've only had like one time to actually stream during the week. I'm sorry, I feel bad about that. It's mostly about Bloodhunt, but I'm gonna play some other games, so join me and let me know if that's kind of content that you want to see from me. It's gonna be some actions, gonna be some cozy games, gonna be like some whatever. We're gonna see. I do giveaways for Bloodhunt whenever I'm playing Bloodhunt, and sometimes do some special things. I will be talking about it later, but I do now have a Discord. If you want to join, if you want to be up to date with everything that I'm doing, including these news recaps, Discord is already there. You go. The socials link is there, but I'm gonna link it again in this in chat right now. That is the Discord. That is new. I put that together this week because of a subathon that I did, because you asked for it. So there you go. There's one that's happening. So today we will be covering the last 2 weeks of news, because yeah, my badly isolated apartment couldn't keep me from the cold wave that happened last weekend. I just couldn't be in my apartment and do the show, so I apologize, but we're back here now. So yeah, let's begin. Let's begin. Whoop. Hey, there you go. No weird, there's not supposed to be any sounds. So yeah, let's start today. We're gonna be talking about Twitch drops. I mean, the Twitch drops that apparently that I missed from last weekend. There you go. I put the links in chat as I usually do. By the way, also, if you're watching this on YouTube, all the links to everything, like all the Twitter links and all the websites links, they are I put them all in the description with the timestamps. So go check them out if ever you need something to reference some things. So last week there was the Cryo Corsair mask / eyepatch that was available. It was by watching the top 100 most hours streamers. Anyways, there was a list there that was posted. So yeah, so you can start your hot vampire Majima cosplay. And for this week, we have the awesome Kill Time legendary outfit that's there that we got that we have available for the week, and this one has been voted by the content creators in the Inner Circle chat to be available to anyone that is streaming Bloodhunt and has drops activated. So there's no individual top 100 list or whatever. It's everyone that has that is streaming Bloodhunt has drops activated on their account. You can watch. You can get that after watching for 60 minutes, I believe. I didn't even check. I think it's 60 minutes. Yeah. But yeah, cool outfit. It's the only outfit that we got in this current like section of Twitch drops that we have this week for this time for Bloodhunt. As usual, there we go. As usual, we can. Oh, I didn't check it. Hold on. I didn't put it there. Hold on. Let me get back to this. Hold on. Twitch drops. Oh, I should actually just click the link. There you go. So for Twitch drops, I forgot to put that link up. Not professional at all. Yes, the outfit is for male bodies only. And it is, yeah, not just Nosferatu. It's all male bodies for this one. And the... Oh, I didn't put it there. Hold on. It's not... No, I completely forgot to put it there. Okay, so hold on. Let me add it here. I have my screenshot ready for this. It is here. So, right now, hold on. Kill Time outfit. That's what we're getting this week. Next week is going to be the Duskborn makeup that we're going to get. After that, we don't know. Are we going to get a week or 2 weeks of those 6 drops available to every streamer? We don't know. Nothing's been announced yet, but we're going to keep an eye on that. Some people have been asking, the goggles that the character is wearing is the quest reward for the counterbalance quest. Basically, play the game, do the quests at some point. Some other quests will open and unlock, and keep going. And if ever you're stuck at some point, just keep going to see the NPCs. Just keep going to talk to all the NPCs that exist inside the Elysium. There's 5 of them. Just after every match, go talk to them. Maybe you're gonna have some other quests that are gonna be unlocked in some other part. So yeah, eventually you get the counterbalance. I mean, the Toxic Stream eyewear unlocked, so you can replicate that look over here. Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just Pro Newscaster. Yes, Mark. Right. Just come on. Yes. So, in terms of free things and giveaways, while we were gone, the Oh Dear Mask has expired. So if you wanted the Oh Dear Mask, I think I've announced it so many things. I've been pushing it so much. It's gone. The other free thing that we currently have is the Alectrona's Shroud outfit. That is available until February 15th. So you only have a few days left to claim it. There you go. There it is. The outfit, and there's the code written right there. And you've got the link in the tweet that tells you where to go redeem it inside your account on the Bloodhunt website. And it is for female bodies only. So go check inside the game in your inbox section to see that you have claimed it. After that, it should be female bodies. Some people have been saying like they haven't been able to claim it. Turns out a lot of people have been trying to find that on male bodies. It's only females. Only female bodies, I should say. So that should have been specified somewhere, but apparently like some people were lost. And there you go. That covers the free stuff that we have right now. So let's switch it around. Yes. Let me get back to the next thing. So, there's a lot of Bloodhunt discussions that are currently happening in the Discord, the Bloodhunt Discord these days. So join up. Like, discussions don't seem to be happening in Twitter that much anymore. A lot of it, like a lot of the community right now has been focusing and has been getting itself on Discord, and I really appreciate it, especially when it comes to actually fighting, like seeing a lot of people's opinions and discussions and dev feedback. There's been a lot of dev feedback and a lot of dev explanations, and I'm gonna be sharing screenshots of some interesting things that the devs have been sharing that you might want to think about a little bit. So we've been talking about, like, this is not this week, it's the previous week. We've been talking about a lot of performance issues because that's what happened with the hunting rifle update. A lot of people have been complaining about performance issues, including myself. So here's an interesting discussion that happened. Scarecrow's been asking, like, have you guys received an increased amount of tickets concerning the servers lag issues in the past few days? Tobias answers, our guys are definitely interested in what's going on. So definitely the people that have been talking about lag issues, the guys that are looking, the guys that already were looking into it. So Leon chimed in and said, lag server issues have unfortunately been a recurring issues. I encourage everyone who experiences those issues, rubber banding, rollbacks, to send your log files to support. Now that is not something that they usually ask people to do. It's more like, oh, we're going to be looking into it, or are there any other issue, or are there any other steps that you, the user, can take on your end? Now it's just been, no, send in your log files, which already tells you, like, there's something underlying there. And then yes, hold on, let me decouple this. Yeah, oh yeah, I know. That's not what I wanted to do. I closed the window instead of doing this. There we go. Story asks, is there anything we should send about performance issues? Oh, that not like as a response to that, Scarecrow's been saying, so I should start pushing more of the community to submit tickets, and Leon's been saying, yes, please. So, yeah, if you are having any issues, I'm gonna be touching on that like in a second. Yes, make sure that you're gonna you submit tickets. That's a way that they've been using. It's been a common request for any claims of lag issues. Yeah, I know, Motion, but I mean, especially for this one, to tell people to do that, especially like with what's been happening, like to let people know of this. I'm surprised even that they haven't been making a Twitter post about this to get more people to report their issues. And there's also this little tidbit by Tobias that says, here's the thing, if you just talk here, there's no way to track it or share it properly. Even in DMs, we utilize support tickets for good reason. Because there's people that have been asking, like, hey, what if I post things on the Discord? If I just let you know on the Discord, is that going to be okay? No, it's not. The way to track things or keep track of things or keep track of community concerns, there's a ticket system that's been put in there, like, for them to be able to track, and not just to track, it's to be able to internally be be accountable for player feedback. Tickets have to be addressed. If they're going to be marked off, like even the marked off tickets, like they're still being counted. And the resolutions are being looked at. Even the ones that have been done, so like they always, like, that's the thing that sometimes they do and they don't necessarily mention. Like whenever there's like support tickets that usually happen, they can go back and see what's been happening. What have we been telling people to do to keep track of all of this and to keep track of actual, like, people's answers internally as well. Because you never know, sometimes there's some people that may know the answers even internally that people internally don't even know. That's the thing that can happens, and like, I'm not saying this specifically for Sharkmob or Bloodhunt or anything. It's like usually in support, that's how it works. So I've been putting out a tweet to let people know. Here's the tweet in case like you might need those links that I put in there. Yes. Like if you're getting some, like, basically I've been repeating exactly what they've been saying, rubber banding server FPS, like send your files to tech support. There's a page to tell you exactly how do you get your tech files that you have to send to support. Like they're gonna ask you to send that, or I mean, you put that in the form, and then you have to go like in the Sharkmob on the Sharkmob support website. Remember to log in, so the ticket is gonna be like under your name, and you're gonna be able to follow the ticket. You have to log in first. That's the thing that it happened to me on a few tickets that I completely forgot to do. But yeah, I think the most egregious thing since the update, since the patch that happened, was the server FPS icon that a bunch of people, as far as I've been telling, and especially like me, that wasn't an icon that flashed. It flashed once in a while, like once in a blue moon I would see it, but now is like pretty much up constantly in all of my matches, the server FPS one. And that's the kind of icon or issue that they are specifically like interested to see on their end. Because like refresh rate, it's something to change on your end. Latency, there's nothing much you can do about that because it's, you know, related to lag and depends on which server you're on or which server you're connecting. Packet loss, there's nothing really that you can do about that unless you have a very poor like internet connection, in which case usually packet loss, like you have other performance icons. But the server FPS one, usually like that's a sign that something's not going right on the Bloodhunt side of things or server side of things. Or anyways, it's nothing that you can do, but something that specifically the Bloodhunt techs have to look into it. But since the personally, I have to say, since the fix that they've deployed this week, I haven't been getting that server FPS icon that much often anymore. It was pretty much then constantly for me. Wait until they turn red and form disco lights. That's when it's fun. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, that was a big issue that happened, was performance issues. So yeah, still, whenever you, and that's a general rule of thumb that I keep telling people, whenever you have issues with the game, put in a ticket. I know. It's a lot. You have to log in, you have to fill the form, you have to send in your files, you have to explain what exactly is happening. I know, like I get it. It's a hassle. But still, if they don't have those tickets on their end, they're not gonna have like data to go like, okay, this is a pressing issue. We're gonna find the issue. We're gonna try to fix it. But they need our help. We need their help. Like nothing's gonna be like fixed magically because like, you know, of the magic thought of, well, they're the devs, they should know. No, not necessarily. Again, they don't necessarily have your setup. They don't have your computer setup in their homes to know exactly how the game's performing with your setup or where you're at. They have their own computer setups in their office to test it out as much as they can, but maybe something about your setup is different. Maybe it's something that everyone else has and then their PCs they don't have in the office. Maybe it doesn't have to do with PCs. Maybe it's something else. That's why they need like our tech files. They're asking for the tech files to go peruse in them and see is there a common denominator to figure out exactly what's happening. That's as much as we can do to help them figure out how to fix the game for us. That's the best way I can say that. Yeah, and there were discussions, we're moving on. Talks about balanced decisions and the data, especially here about, I think this should be good, yeah. Here about the aim assist, because a lot of people have been talking about aim assist. And here's an interesting thing, okay? Interesting thing that Tobias said. Like I look at like talking about feedbacks, he looks at data and sentiments though. Sentiment basically is just like, it's to put it in younger in young people terms. Motion, we're talking about that later. Gonna have to say a few words to you. So when he says sentiments, it's basically vibe check. He's vibe checking the feedback that people are putting in. It's a hot topic in general, not just for Bloodhunt. I know it's a vague excuse. Movement, aiming, and player behavior versus MNK are different. It's, you know, MNK versus controller and aim assist. Like that's not just what he means is it's not just Bloodhunt. It's like in the gaming community, people talk about that stuff. Here's an interesting thing. When crossplay was enabled before the aim assist changes, MNK would have immense win ratios versus gamepad. With the current aim assist, mouse and keyboard players still have an advantage in terms of win, aim, KD across most weapons. Now, I understand that the community doesn't like to hear that. Thing is, he's going like, here's the data that we have. Aim assist, you may feel like the aim assist is annoying. If we're looking at the data on our end, aim assist players still are under advantage over mouse and keyboard players. So what he's saying here is not discrediting people that are talking about like aim assist is annoying or aim assist is a problem. Okay, it's not saying that. What you need to understand from this is that, yeah, there's an interesting issue on their end, because it feels like the feedback looks like aim assist is way overpowered. Everyone, like a lot of people in the community, like seem to be all agreeing that aim assist is way too powerful. There's people that have controllers that turn down their aim assist to a certain point because it feels like cheating. But despite the community sentiment, they're looking at the data that they have on their end, and they're going like, well, it looks like finally like we're starting to be like close to like an equal point in terms of wins, aims, KD between mouse and keyboard and aim assist. So they have, what that means is that they have an interesting problem on their hands. Right now, it's still favoring mouse and keyboard. However, most of the people, including the people that use aim assist, feels like it's cheating, like feels like it's too hard. So what exactly do they have to do on their end to balance that? It's not just like fix it. It's not just reduce aim assist. It's balance it. And balancing, it's freaking complicated to do on their end. Because, you know, how do you help the people that have controller that still need some aim assist? I don't have any solution to this. I don't have any like suggestion. What I'm doing, yet again, I'm just interpreting what's being said here to understand that, yeah, it's complicated. I know that some people like will look at that kind of feedback and go like, well, this is the conclusion that you have to take from it. Like, it's not concluding anything. It's just saying, we have something interesting on our hands. We have to find a solution. Because you got two opposing things that are like about the same topic, and we need to figure out a solution with this. I have no answer. He's not suggesting any answer. It's just like, you have to appreciate on their end, wow, that's complicated to figure out. Because, yeah, I understand that a lot of people are just like, well, reduce the aim assist. It's easy, just reduce it. It's like, yeah, however, like what's happening like on top of that? Because, you know, suddenly like with the current aim assist stuff, like there's been like 2 bumps in aim assist that have happened like since fall. And after the first bump of aim assist, there's some people that are saying like aim assist is still shit. While some people were going like, oh, okay, now it's nice. Like it's nice, and some people were saying it's not, you know, could use a little bump. Like that was when it was just a little bumped up. Now it's been like bumped up a second time. Now we've got this situation that's prevalent and existing. So yeah, interesting decision that they have to make on their end. I have nothing to suggest. I'm just gonna move on to another thing, because it's just like, yeah, have fun. Basically, yeah, have fun with that, devs. You've got a problem. You need to find out something. And whatever is going to happen, unless they come up with a miracle solution, whatever they're going to come up with, like with kind of solution to this, you can be sure that, like, unless they have a miracle solution, no one's going to be like some people are gonna be happy, some people are gonna be like really not happy about that. But that's not how feedback daily readers get it. You have to be literal. Yeah, I understand, Eister. I understand. That's why I'm doing the whole thing here. Like that's part of my reasons why I'm doing the like interpreting and reading and all of that stuff. I don't know. I'm not pretending to know what Sharkmob is doing. This is just like I'm spitting out some thoughts of what they're doing. Doing what I can. Another discussion that was happening here. Story was asking, a bunch of people are asking, are you guys planning anything for the crossbow nerf anytime soon? He says balancing is something that our designers look at for every patch. They will get the survey data, the backend data, and the stuff that sticks out, and we'll get a look over. Once something is decided, they will tweak it, let us know what is tweaked, and we put it in the patch notes. Discussion followed up with, Story asking, I'd love to hear what they're basing their decisions on. He says years of experience designing games, years of education, data, community feedback, and the deduction skills how to put that into a game. Does it mean that there are no issues with balancing? Of course not. Reaching perfect equilibrium in balanced game design isn't always the goal either. Stuff about balancing, the whole discussions about games being balanced. An online service game is rarely ever balanced. Rarely ever. It's kind of an ideal that they have to look forward to. And they have to push everything towards getting closer to that goal as much as possible. Leaving things unbalanced break the game totally. We all know that. So aspiring to have most things in the game balanced is a thing. There's always going to be like some things that are unbalanced. There's still things that are going to be broken. There's things that are going to be like, broken or / overpowered. They have to figure that out. And game balance is not something that I like to talk about because it's like so complicated. It's right. I've always said it's trying to get like choreograph a tap dancing number with a handful of spiders. It's so complicated. There's so many variables that you have to take into account when you're talking about balancing, and it's not just like weapon balancing. We're just gonna balance weapons. You have to take the entire game data, the entire game like possibilities of options that might have an issue with this. You have to take that all into consideration. Like anyone that has to deal or work into like game balancing, like my hat is off to you. I don't want to be in your head. I don't want to be in your situation. So I mean, everything is being taken into consideration. Or else they're not doing their job, and I know that they would like to keep their job. It's just that, it has to be looked into. What do I have else? This one, are we at the marksman? Yeah, okay. It's just this is just a peek to let you know, like, this is all the stuff that they have to take into consideration, and it's not just the Discord, it's not just the surveys, it's not just Twitter, it's not just any other social media, like the Steam feedback and all of this. They all have to take that into consideration. Plus, not just like the issue itself as it exists in the game as well. They also have to take, and sometimes people forget that, they also have to prepare things for things in the future as well. You don't know exactly, there might be some other stuff that are coming in the future, and why they're not implementing this change right now, or why it should be easy to, like, why don't you just do this thing? It's like, we can't do this because we have this thing coming in the future that's going to be added in the game, so making all those changes are going to be like a waste of time because this is going to change how things are. So we're not going to waste our time applying these changes because this is coming. It's a possibility. I'm just saying it's a possibility. And there's a lot of stuff that they can't necessarily like let us know about. I'm not making excuses for them, by the way. I'm just like trying to say like it's much more complicated sometimes than just change this number. Also, oh yeah, also making changes with numbers, all of this, and we forget to mention that a lot of times. These things have to be tested. They have to be tested internally. There's a QA team that has to go through that. It has to like, see if the fixes work, if they're not breaking other things. Yeah, there's a whole process that happens. Then just switch number, put that in, you're good to go. Double crossbows are fixed. I have my own opinion about the dual crossbows fixed. I've already said that on stream. Maybe I can do it after this recording. But yeah. Anyways, that's just an insight. Moving on. Moving on from this, there's also an interesting discussion that happened. This was about marksman rifle and a little bit of feedback. Yeah, Story was saying daily reminder, same as the last 4 months, nerf dual crossbow. Unepic says, why do I have the feeling that this being ignored a little bit? Atanas said, hey guys, we hear you. However, these things need to be reviewed before making a decision. Exactly what I'm saying. Just make it half the damage. We don't need months of a decision that is killing the fun for everyone. I'll make sure to move forward your suggestions so that the team can take it into consideration. Again, it's a thing of like, you can't just do story, you can't just do fixed number, patch that in. It doesn't work that way. Has to be taken into consideration, like they said. Don't know exactly what they have to do. They can't just show us exactly what they're doing in the kitchen with all of this. We just have to be patient and wait for them to do things. Maybe there's other reasons that they can't tell us. You have always to think about that. The only thing that really we can do with all of this feedback and all of these changes that we're asking them to apply is just, unfortunately, just be patient and continue to give feedback. Speaking of feedback, this section of feedback with Istinto here, I really liked. Where he says, consider balancing the marksman rifle. Atanas asks, thanks for the suggestions. Could you explain what we should consider changing? Istinto replies, sure thing. The weapon could use a slower fire rate or a smaller magazine size. Possibly some recoil, because right now it can delete an entire squad without the user needing the reload if they hit all headshots, shoots as fast as one can pull the trigger, and has minimal recoil. And Atanas responds, thanks for the details. We will take them into consideration. I wanted to highlight this bit of discussion. 2 reasons. First of all, this is the kind of feedback that I would love to see all the time in the feedback discussion, in the feedback chat on the Discord. He didn't call him a fucking stupid dev. There was no fluff. It was just, here's the feedback. Of course, Atanas jumped in to ask him exactly what they would consider changing. Like in the best situation, Istinto would have put all of this into one reply, and it would have been like, okay, considered there. I like the feedback that Istinto gives there. It is clear cut. The thing that interests the dev in that kind of reply is right now is what he says, that what he feels like, the vibe check is like, so the marksman rifle, it can delete an entire squad without using reload if they hit all headshots. Like that part here, that's the part that interests the dev. After that, like kind of a thing that you can add on to what you feel is the vibe about this, here's some suggestion. He said weapon could use a slower fire rate, smaller magazine, maybe recoil. That's the part that you tack on to your suggestion, to your feedback as a suggestion. That is good. That is perfect. I like that. Also, want to take the occasion to say that I've checked with motion. The marksman rifle, last time it had a change, it was just a small change that was made around in fall. But before that, the marksman rifle had been left like very much like unchanged for the longest amount of time. And I like that in this current meta, for a while, marksman rifle is just, I'm existing. It's like the meme, like marksman rifle exists for months. And now suddenly it's just like, wait a second, marksman rifle is overpowered. It's the same kind of situation as with like the burst rifle, as we remember in the past, where burst rifle was good, it was good, and then they decided like, hey, no one's using it, let's give it a little bump. And then the bump was just like, oh wait, hold on, the burst rifle is like way too much, like that bump was way too much. Okay, they're nerfing it down to what it used to be, almost what it used to be. And I was just like, oh yeah, burst rifle, still good, still like can hit shots and all of that. And just like, well, it was there, it's just no one in the community really focused on it, or really like alerted everyone to everyone that it was good. So like that's what happened with the burst, and I see that's happening also with the marksman rifle. I'm just having like myself a little chuckle at this. But yeah, meta changes, they're weird. Here's an interesting discussion also, a little bit of chatter here that was interesting to see. Jacob at Sharkmob, not to be confused with Jacob, that's Jacob. Someone was asking like, someone asked a very, very elaborate post about like, you know, asking for feedback from the design team regarding the Necromancer mask. So I want to like showcase it. We're talking about the Necro Overlord headgears and the Wraith mask. So I'm in game right now. There we go. I just want to show what exactly we're talking about. So I put those on my archetypes. There we go. So we've got, wait, I've messed it up. It's a mask. The Overlord here. We've got the Necromancer on my other archetype. Nope, it's not there, but we're gonna put it on there. Oh, yeah, because it's another gender. There you go. This is what it looks like. Anyways, just don't... whatever, okay? Just whatever. And the Wraith mask. This is the Wraith mask that we're talking about. It's just so that you understand what I'm talking about when gonna reference those. So... This is stuff that I was trying to like organize before that's why I was a little late, okay? I was trying to organize some things. I didn't have that time like already, or that thing already loaded up on my end, okay? So, he says, I worked on the Necro/Overlord headgears and also implemented Wraith to the game when I worked on Bloodhunt. So I'm able to give some clarity in this. First, I want to thank you for showing such passion in this, and I understand the frustration. There's a difference between the male and female body type, namely that the male has broader shoulders and thicker neck. Insert thick neck in chat. Which means that there is extra volume that needs to be covered compared to the normal headgears that just cover the head and face. The red headgears, Necro Overlord, were designed on female first, and Wraith was designed on male. We really tried to refit and make it work for the opposite body type, but in the end, only the Overlord headgear worked, while also maintaining the overall shape of the headgear. The Wraith and Necro looked like two completely different designs, in a bad way. And the mesh that had been pulled in and out while also, after the mesh had also been pulled in and out while also causing issues with the skinning, meaning it simply did not work, which led to a decision of making it body type lock for Necro and Wraith. Again, I understand the frustration because we feel the same when we have to make such decisions. I hope it gives some clarity to it. When he's saying the mesh, it's basically like the rigging around the head to make it fit. So you don't necessarily see the mesh when you're playing in the game, but it's the way that they basically put the skin on the rig to make it fit, like kind of, you know, the putting a mask on, putting it like you would have some bits that would not necessarily fit in on the character. And so they tried to have them refit, and it was the way that he says is just it was causing issues. That's a very, very nice and simple way to say it was causing issues. There was probably a lot of other things, and they probably couldn't fix the mesh in time or to implement it for the time that the pass was being like put in there, or maybe they didn't have time. They didn't have the resources to do all this little jumbly, wobbling, like switching up of things to have those like fit together. So yeah, he's saying like, yeah, we get that. And he probably jumped on the occasion to say this because I haven't seen necessarily like that kind of feedback on there ever before. So he was probably waiting for this. But yeah, very like clear explanation of why it was locked to certain, like it's not a decision to just go like, oh, this one we're gonna lock it to male, this one we're gonna lock it to female because we feel like it. No, there's a technical, like a little glimpse into the technical reasons why we couldn't make it work on all the characters. So it's just like, it's unfortunate. And yeah, he says we feel the same whenever we have to make such decisions, which also implies whenever, like what he's saying here, it's implying that there has been other decisions about design stuff that couldn't like make it fit or make it across like all the different body types that we have. I mean, we've got 2 body types. All the different body types. What are you talking about, Callior? So yeah, gives you a little bit of explanation on exactly how that happened. And you know, if there's any other design people that want to chime in once in a while to give us some feedback like this on why there were issues or like some design decisions like that, can we have more of this? Because I find this very interesting, and maybe that's going to clear up some people's concerns in the community, especially the people that like to like question customization decisions. Some kind of feedback on this is just like, yeah, can we have that? And I know that some people are just like, well, can't you fix it now? Well, there might be on the priority scale of fixing things. It's already implemented in the game. Maybe fix it in the future. Like, it's gonna find itself on one of their lists of like to do or would like to fix. But I would guess it's probably very, very low on the priority list. They have huge priority lists. Like, it's already filled with stuff that they already have on their end, plus the things that they want to add to the game in the future. Like, they've got enough on their plates like right now on the Sharkmob team. Yeah, that was very well explained. Like, I like that. I wonder when kill time was made because the hoodie doesn't hide their hair or other skins. Yeah, I start like there's a bunch of questions about like customization and design that I would be interested to ask. I've heard some kind of weird feedback about some people were not happy with the big rig internally and all the issues that the big rig caused. I would like to have more inside information about this. But yeah, this is like, yeah, probably after the big rig change. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna touch on the issue of the week. So Bloodhunt on February 7 said, greetings kindred, we have updated our matchmaker for solo duo game modes to balance skill levels and prioritize regional servers. Here are the changes. Players of vastly different skill levels will no longer end up in the same matches. Change 1. 2. If the majority of players queue from one region, the game will always start on servers within that region. The goal of these changes is to get more fair matches where the majority of the players will experience a higher quality networking experience with lower latency. Someone, Chronic here asks, so the game was only the last good shooter. Okay. Completely I don't care to read this out loud. Basically, the explanation here is this change prevents matches between new players and the top rated players. This allows those new players to be able to get some time to hone their skills before playing versus the best, which keeps those players playing for a longer time. This gives us a little bit of explanation as to why they made those changes. This doesn't affect trios, this doesn't affect TDM, okay? It was primarily for solo duo game modes. Now, there's been a lot of feedback. There's been a lot of feedback that's been happening this week over the Discord. It's been a trash fire in the feedback. A lot of stuff has been happening, and without sounding too patronizing, come on, community. I think that some people could have done. There's some people I expected to be much better than that, but things happened. If you want to have a look at the trash fire that happened all over Discord this week, it's all there. You can go look at it. It's been a little bit awful. I'm not here to relate to talk about that specifically. I want to clear up a thing. The drawback of this situation, the consequence of that issue, was that the higher end skill players, which I'm going to refer as pro players, a lot of them eventually ended up being alone in their own game modes, where they were just the only real person, and the rest of the match was just filled with bots, both in solos and duos mode. It seemed to be like that. Now, you understand the design that was made here. That was made here. It was because with the changes that had been implemented, and the changes that a lot of people liked since the around beginning of January, when they did a lot of those matchmaking changes, we suddenly had games, solos and duos games, where there were more and more people in and less bots. Forced a lot of people together, and the matches were not only did they improve bots in their behaviors, and some bots, I can tell, as a very mid player, I'm now scared of those bots. Some of them are gotten very good. Now suddenly I was being put into matches with a lot of really skilled players, plus crossplay had been enabled for solos, and so now we had PS5 players with aim assist put into the mix. The quality of the game was that we had more players, but we also had more skilled players. The difficulty of the overall solo game was raised significantly, right? Really significantly. And like I say, mid player. I know that I'm better than a beginner player, but not a pro. So I could feel myself that it was okay, suddenly the bar was being raised in terms of difficulty. I liked that. Because suddenly, okay, I have a real life, not a real life, but I have a real challenge inside my matches. However, it's not everyone that might have felt the same way that I did, because they decided to make those changes. Now, they don't make those changes out of the blue. It is dependent on feedback. So, what they say here. New players and top-rated players, unfortunately, because of those matchmaking changes that they've done in the past, probably the feedback that they got was that the game was beginning to get too hard for new players. So the issue here is just try to separate people while still maintaining the philosophy of trying to put you in servers in your own region, but still try to keep the same kind of thing where you have much you have many more people inside your matches than you have bots. I've only played once this week, a few matches, and I can tell that for me, mid player, not pro player, it was still better than how the game was back in December. Like, still had many more people in my matches. More people than I feel that I had bots. So yeah, the philosophy was there. Maybe because of this change, maybe a little bit more bots. But at the same time, have to explain that this week the game, because of the hubbub and the loud noise that was made about this game, people just decided to stay away from the game. Like the participation and people loading up in the game, because they heard that some bad changes were happening. Okay, you have to take that into consideration. There's people that just didn't load the game this week because they heard, oh, some bad changes happen and some people are angry or whatever. And they hear things and they don't load up the game. They don't start up the game at all because they hear there's some bad stuff. So participation lowered this week. So if that noise didn't happen and people played the game, would I have more people than what I felt like I had a little bit more bots in my matches? I can't know. I don't know. But that may be a factor. For me, it seemed like everything was good. And not only that, but because servers started in my region, my server FPS issues that I've been telling you, like I've been personally having, almost entirely gone. Like, I would say like they were, server FPS icon was like up 99% of the time. Now I'd say it's just like 1% of the time in my matches that I played this week. So there might be onto something with this and the performance issues. I haven't seen a lot of people like do the feedback about the performance. Personally, performance has increased since they made this change. So there might be onto something in one side, not necessarily the other. So I want to read again this statement. Get more fair matches where the majority of players would experience a higher quality networking experience with lower latency. The feedback that happened this week from the community has only been part of this statement. Fair matches. The pro players were stuck into where they weren't getting fair matches in solos and duos. Most people were talking about that specific issue. And it turned into a whole thing of like, this is casual versus pros. The design team is against the pro players. They're catering to casuals. It's like, first of all, that kind of pro versus casual discussion, that's something that's been since the dawn of online games as online service games. That's a discussion that never has an end. Okay, never has an end. It's people can have that discussion. That's okay. I was just saying that overall, in the end, in the conclusion of that kind of discussion and irateness, there's no conclusion. There's never been a conclusion about this. I can talk about this a little bit more because I've seen examples, I've lived through examples of this before, and I know exactly where it goes. And I know that like the synergies and how it goes with the communities and the developers, and that kind of discussion is just like, I'm just gonna shove that discussion to the side because that's not it. The thing that was obvious when they made this change, and you had the unintended consequences of pro players in solo matches being alone. Everyone could tell, okay? Everyone could tell. If you were paying attention to how they've been working on the game, how they've been building the game, the philosophy, and how they've been improving the game, like, you know, we've been with them. We've been following what they've been doing. That change that happened for pro players, that was against their design philosophy. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't following what they've been building up to, and that's what like a lot of people have been saying, like, you've been building up and now suddenly you make this change. This feels weird. This feels counterintuitive, counter to what we've been doing. But instead, some people have been saying you're bad devs, or you don't know what you're trying to do with the game, and then all of this stuff about like blaming the devs. When instead, and we got the reply to this. Hold on. About the issue that we got yesterday. And before we even got this reply, like, I knew already. They said, we discovered an unintended issue with the recent Matchmaker update where high-rated players ended up alone in solo and duo matches. We have now made adjustments to it to have more players per match for all the high-rated players. It was an issue. It was clear someone messed up in the CVC team. They implemented the change and then something went wrong, which is why it took so long for them to reply or to make an official statement about it throughout the entire week. Because we were wondering, like, why aren't you saying anything? Why aren't you addressing it? It was because they were looking for the issue and how to fix it. Like, it had the clear vibe of someone fucked up. So, yeah, hold on. I'll get back to this motion. So, it has been found. It has been kind of resolved, and that's why, you know, the way that I wrote that in chat, I added a question mark at the end because we don't know if exactly it has been fixed, but they found something. Now, here's the other part of it. Is that maybe something, maybe that's the original intent. Something went wrong. And now, right now, well, see, the other thing is that even though that's been fixed, there's still people that are not playing the game. Because they haven't been told, like, hey, go play the game again. Go play the game again. They're playing the wizard game. I understand. A lot of people are playing the wizard game right now. They're doing other stuff. Like, this is literally just yesterday, as of when I'm recording this. So, yeah, basically what I'm saying is we're gonna have to wait a few days to see if this actually gets fixed, is fixed. We don't know, but like I just want to put out there that it's absolutely, like, to have high rated players put in, like, alone in solo or duo matches, that is absolutely not their design intent. That's not what they want. What we had with everyone, like what we had since, like, the matchmaking changes that they did in January, that is what we want that to happen, is just separate the newer players from that group, and then we've got it made. It's gonna be good. It was already doing good. There was a suggestion that was put out there by Murkrai, like, about, and many people that were saying, like, well, put the new players, like, in their own lobbies or with their own bots or with their own, like, separate them, but then also have a mechanic where you can detect if any new player is actually someone with skill. That player gets immediately, like, thrown into, like, the new, like, with the rest of us, because it's not fair if you've got, like, someone that's played Fortnite or PUBG or any other battle royale or has any skill with any game, or you put Shroud suddenly, like, in the game, like, as a new player, he wouldn't want to be put at the kiddies table, like, just like, oh, you need to grind until this amount of levels and whatever before you can play with the big boys. That's not fair for them. So something needs to, like, that's an idea, that's a suggestion of just, like, maybe, like, try to do something else. Maybe it's not easy to do because we have a very small population. And here's another thing that I want to mention also, because I want to do a little fact checking about this. And hold on, I've been staying on this screen for a little too long. Let me just, oh, hold on. Nope, let's swipe it correctly. There we go. That's the thing I want to I want to remind people, because a bunch of people have been saying like a bunch of stuff that you've got good arguments, but it's just you're backing it with facts that are wrong. So I want just to redo a little fact check with everyone. Some people have been saying you've been adding skill-based matchmaking to solos. That is not true. That is factually not true. Skill-based matchmaking has been in the game, in every game mode, since the beginning of the game. It's always been there. Now, I can't pull the quote exactly, because that was something that they said like around in the middle of summer or somewhere like that I remember. That they stated like, yeah, the skill-based matchmaking has always been there, because some people have been suggesting, why don't you put skill-based matchmaking? And someone was just like, it's been there. It's in there. It's always been there. In September, in the September update, they made the change of how the skill-based matchmaking worked fundamentally. It used placements as a way to, as the metric to determine like your skill rating. And now they decided, because of multiple reasons, and also because we had such a small community at the time, to go, well, placements is not really indicative of skill with the amount of players that we have, with the population that we have. They decided to go, we're going to go with kills instead. Because of the amount of people that we have, let's go with kills. And that was the main big, like, when they like changed the skill-based matchmaking. Ever since then, whenever they say they do changes to the matchmaking, it's been tweaks that they've been doing to accommodate with the population size and the skill of everyone. And also when they added bots, the bots help with the skill-based matchmaking to give a little bit of breathing room, because when you've got a small population all grouped up together, it's hard to separate everyone that's in there to go. You've got to separate them, like for the bigger games with a bigger population, where you can say like, this is a platinum player, this is a bronze player, you've got the gold, you've got the silver, and you can like very much determine by their playstyle, their level of skill is of different higher levels. But with a small group of people, it's hard to do that. It's very hard to do that. And the people that have been asking, like, add skill-based matchmaking, like throughout the entirety, like, of since the game has been live. The thing is, ever since we got a very small population, the skill-based matchmaking has never been able to shine, or to like be able to like split up people into different groups or into different fair matches while keeping queue times low. It only really works when you have a decent amount of population of concurrent players in the game. That's when it actually works. So right now, people that have any kind of demands for the matchmaking, you have to consider that some people have demands that are basically for a AAA hyper-popular kind of game, which is not Bloodhunt. You have to lower your expectations in terms of matchmaker right now. Doesn't mean that, you know, it can't change eventually in the future. They're trying to compensate right now with what they have in the population. Now, what they did in the last few months, that was great. That was great. Player numbers getting higher because of bots, because, you know, bots, lower skill, that's good. Higher skill players put together, like, they were onto something, and they were compensating for that. But it seems like the feedback that we've been getting is, yes, for newer starting players, the current changes that they made in January was a little bit too much for them. That's what we're going for. But yes, I wanted to correct the fact that skill-based matchmaking has been in the game. It's been added. Skill-based matchmaking is even in trios. Like, it's there. You don't see it being applied because right now it's more like teams and trios go. We got as many people like to fill a server, go, let's start trios. it doesn't really have to like do anything. Like at this point, it's just matchmaker instead of skill-based matchmaker. It doesn't really take that into account. So anyways, wanted to clarify that. You have to take the people that will talk about the skill-based matchmaking. You have to take into account that we are just a small group right now. Maybe we'll get better. Maybe things will change. Maybe we'll adapt. Maybe at some point they'll be able to go like, okay, we have so many players, we can't go by kills anymore because everyone's having like so crazy amount of kills because we have so many matches going on. We're gonna switch it back to placements now. Get it back to what it used to be with, you know, the adjusted changes in the meantime. Anyways, wanted to address that. I don't have necessarily a solution. What I'm telling you basically is I'm explaining to you again. I'm explaining to you what I'm seeing in this situation, what we have in terms of data, and all you have to take into account, and what they, like us as a community, them as developers, it's not an easy situation. Yeah, get a question, like ask. Go ahead. Yeah, that's as much as I want or care to go into for this. Is just that, yeah, you for all the uproar that's been happening this week, there's a few things that people could have clued in, and is that putting high skill players into like basically a match where they're alone with a bunch of bots, that is absolutely not something that they wanted or intended to do. Use a little bit of your brain, people. This was a mess up, and I hope that right now, like I saw some people say in chat, and I seen this yesterday, some people say, still, like, I see a little bit more people in my matches for the pro players. Say I see a little bit more, or some of them have been saying like I'm still the only one in my matches. Maybe they need to do a little bit more tweaking. Maybe the issue isn't over, but they did discover an issue on their end. What are we gonna do with that? Is there a chance all the SBMM tweaks and changes that are constantly being updated to matchmaking, could it possible that there's a chance that it causes any type of server issues in the game? I mean, yeah. Like the well, it's not because of the number of issues. It's not because of the number of issues. What's been like the one of the things that they've been doing is like a higher quality networking experience with lower latency. Like that's been one of the changes of the matchmaker. And like I said, like me personally, and I've seen a few people that have talked about that, like inside the whole entire barrage of feedback check that happened this week, there's some people that have been saying, hey, you know, there's been 2 points of change here, but people have been talking about this change more than they've been giving feedback about this change, the second change here. And some people have been saying like, hey, actually my performance has been going good. Personally, my feedback is just like, you know, for a mid player, yes, I did see like the ratio of players versus bots from before the change. Yeah, I see more bots per players in my matches. But still good quality of games that I've been put into, but also the server FPS, the performance issues since I had since the Hunter rifle update. Oh yeah, that's been kind of almost entirely resolved. I still have some issues that I probably like should go use my own advice and go send in some logs. But for me, the game performance, like huge improvement since that change. So, I don't think that there's like it's related to it, because it's like I said, Aswa, it's not just skill, it's like like the matchmaking, when we talk about like skill-based matchmaking, like it involves many parts. It's kind of like it's a design philosophy where you have to evaluate skill of people, and you have the matchmaker part. And the matchmaker part, it's not just like about the different people, it's about the different servers. So you have like, it's, and that's in very general terms. There's other like little variables that you have to add into it, that they're probably not talking about it because we wouldn't know what to make with it. That's why they're talking about in general terms. So that's why I'm saying it, like, I'm saying it that way, that it's skill, it's playing with other players inside your region, and you've got the server. Like these are very simple like variables to take into account, but with a small amount of population, it's still causing a lot of issues. Like ask that to any OCE players, or yeah, there you go, like Eyster with South America servers. I mean, the servers are there. Like I wish I wrote that down, but there is an entire like we have many like dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of servers all around the world. The only thing that we're missing is players. It's players. I've been saying this for months and months and months and months. The devs have their own things to do to help with fix the game and all of this. And we saw that in the last update, that they said, we want to do a push for publicity and marketing. We want to do that. We agree with you that we could use that. However, we need to make some changes before, so that the push for publicity and marketing is gonna be worthwhile. The people that we're gonna get with that marketing push, we're going to keep them, because we still have, even though like the numbers had been going higher until these recent changes, until the I believe the matchmaking changes, not this week but the other one. Like we were good, but they still said, as much as we're getting more numbers, the game is getting more popular, we're still losing the same amount of people. We need retention features. So they're saying, we're going to add in some more things. They didn't say retention features, but they said we need to add more things. And then once those things are in, then we're going to do the publicity push. But that's their end. They have a lot of things to do on their end. My thing that I've been pushing for is community needs to get together, but community needs to we need to band together. We need to promote the love that we have for the game, get more people in, get more people to go like stick around. There's things in the future that are coming. We're gonna have publicity push. We need to make it like as much as possible like a united front of, we love this game, we want this game to go good. But at the same time, like I understand, like it's just go like, okay, but if the devs don't do anything, like yeah, the devs are going to do their own thing. We're not devs. We can't do their job. They're going to do what devs are going to do. We're going to work in tandem with them. We're going to give them feedback. They're going to do some patches. We have this symbiotic like relationship with them. And also keep in mind, the guys that are in the CDC team, guys and girls, sorry, I should say, they volunteered to stay in this game. That otherwise, any other decent game studio would have unplugged a long while ago. That is some hardcore fact that you have to put in there, okay? They're staying there because they trust in the game and they like the community. They say we have a very passionate community about this game. We can still make something out of this. And they decided to stay. So the whole barrage of invectives thrown towards the devs, I'm not okay with, because they're just doing their job for a passion project that they have here. We need to work with them. They're doing their own thing. We got to do our own thing. And if our own thing is just to berate each other and berate the devs, like there's no that marketing push that's gonna come in the future. Like That's gonna fail, and that's gonna fail because of us as a community. We won't be able to sustain and have a nurturing environment for any new person that's coming in, and that's gonna be sad. And yeah, anyways, sorry, we're here to talk about the news, right? We're here to talk about the news. Let's talk about something else. Oh, just to clarify, Icer, it's not, I'm saying a volunteer job. It's Sharkmob is working on 2 other unannounced games. The people that stayed on the Bloodhunt team decided to stay on the Bloodhunt team. That's all I know. There was a decision that was being made there, and it involved people. I just know that if not a lot of people wanted to stay on Bloodhunt, there would not be a game playing here. Ta-da! So, that being said, let's get back to what we were talking about. Hold on. So, in the Bloodhunt related news, I hope that's all the questions that you were having about SBMM that I can't answer. I can't, I'm not being asked, or like I said at the beginning, like I'm not working for Sharkmob. I'm not work for Sharkmob, and I don't work for the Bloodhunt team. I'm my own man. I'm just trying to explain what's happening. All right. A thing that happened, and I forgot that I didn't have to cover like last week, was that they made a little publicity push on TikTok and Instagram, where they were showcasing the hunting rifle update with some shots. I don't know where they got them. I imagine it's from, like, I don't know if it's their employees, but looks like maybe like the community, some clips that they got together. I don't know exactly, but it was fun seeing a little publicity out there, like with videos and just like skill shots like this. Like, it's good to see out there. So yeah, they put that out there. Another thing that happened, I've already talked about, okay? Some people, like, you might, if you were following this newscast, you might know that Tobias asked a question January 20th. Should Bloodhunt do community highlight reels and publish occasionally on our TikTok and Instagram? What do you think? And I've been pushing people, go give your feedback, go give your answers. There hasn't been enough answers personally, but that led to this week's announcement. Get recognized for your Bloodhunt skills. Submit videos on our Discord for a chance to be featured on TikTok and Instagram. Join now and showcase your moments to the world. Submit your entries in the Submit Videos channel on our Discord. And you have people have been talking about the eyebrowless Kirill saying, I want you for community highlight reels. So yeah, if you go inside the Discord, you have a section here, submit videos. You've got your instructions here, and you've got your link to submit. If you have any questions, I believe some people have already asked questions in the other channels about this, or have asked in the have replied to this post with some questions in regards to this. So yeah, what I've been saying for a while, like, clips featuring you, your trick shots, make your clips, send them some good stuff, like make it some good quality, like, and all that kind of thing. Like, I don't know exactly how that works internally. Will they feature your name, your handle, your whatever, links to your, I don't know. Like, I don't know exactly how all of this works, but yeah, just join in, community effort. There you go. Yeah. Small thing to mention. Sharkmob, on their YouTube, they've been putting some shorts about UX UI. If you want to know a little bit more about like the background of what they're doing, of what exactly is their kind of work that they're doing there, have a gander. It's informative, question mark. might interest some people. I just wanted to point out that something happened there. I don't know how people feel about this, but I'm gonna tell you about it in a second. So just like bear with me for a moment. Combatglue has been saying something. Hold on. Let me stop the music for a second. Combatglue on his TikTok had this to share.
What's the most unique item you have in a game?
Oh, hold on. It's sound is too low. Let me bump it up and restart it.
What's the most unique item you have?
Oh, it's still too low. Hold on. God damn it. Boop. Bump it up.
What's the most unique item you have in a game? I bet it's not as unique as mine. In Vampire Masquerade Bloodhunt, you can have player icons and player banners, and I actually have my own.
So yeah, that, can I pause? Thank you.
My own.
That's interesting. He put out a tweet out there with a code. I know he's been distributing some codes to some people, myself included. And yeah, it's basically, hold on. There we go. It's got his lone little icon. He's got a banner that's themed with his own theme. And you're going to go, why this? And why only one? What's happening with this? What's happening with that? Well, if you look at the comments on his TikTok, you have a certain guy called Motion Gaming that asks, is this becoming a thing now? And Samir answers, was a project that I led, but that is in torpor now. Which means, people, there was in the works a program where probably some people of influence, of importance in the game, I don't know, streamers, maybe their ex-ambassadors or anything like that, there probably was going to be a screening process in all of this, where probably you would have been able to add your own icon and banner themed to your stuff, and that would have been awesome. Unfortunately, it's the kind of thing that probably requires a lot of manpower to do, and is very selective of people. So maybe, you know, if we're dreaming in the clouds, let's imagine that the changes that we're gonna have, like suddenly like it blows up. If ever there was a something about that it might blow up in the future. Maybe they're gonna get, maybe if they have like the manpower to do all this artwork little thingy, because imagine dealing with every streamer or person that wants into this, dealing with them personally, having like to work into like the graphic design to have the icon and the banner and all of this. No, Mawcry, do you have it? Can you send that to me if you have it? I don't believe I saw that, or I don't remember. If Tobias said something about this, I'd be interested. But yeah, like you need a person, like at least one person that's dedicated to that for quite a while, and also has to make sure that everything that's in the images is also TOS and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, apparently there was a project about this, so I don't know. It's kind of one of the things that maybe we could have had. Maybe one of the things that maybe we could have had. But yeah, you might see a few people sporting these things, because I don't know if I haven't asked like Combat about this, but apparently there seems to be like a how do you say, like maybe a limited amount of those, or a limited amount of codes that he can distribute or whatever. I don't know exactly. Let me turn the music back on. if there is music to be heard. Yes, let's get back to some weird stuff. Okay, so that was just a little thing wanted to mention in the list of things that we could have had. Also, another kind of weird thing to mention. Someone pointed out, hey, I found a mobile game using footage of your game for their ads. Pretty sketch. And yeah, apparently it's Demon Hunter Rebirth that is clearly using some Bloodhunt footage in there. Yeah, and it's clearly an ad. It's sponsored. So yeah, they said, thank you for the heads up. We'll take a look. Hey. Little pat on the back of we're good enough to pass for another game, apparently. Stylized enough to be taken for another game. It was just a funny thing I wanted to point out. Okay, something a little bit more serious that I didn't get to talk about because I missed it. I missed to announce it, I should say. There was finally the Bezpart Trios tournament that happened on February 5th. That was last Sunday. It was fun. It was fun. I couldn't believe the amount of teams that participated. Last time I checked, I think it was like 22 teams, but I don't know if some teams were added at the last second. But holy heck, the amount of participation inside the community, that made me so freaking happy. Because I saw that some people were seeing that the rewards for the tournament were only tokens, and it's kind of it's not money. Some people were just like, maybe we're just gonna show for fun. Yeah, usually for those tournaments, a lot of people show up at the last second, and boy, did people show up. 22 teams, that was interesting. Majora, who did a bang-up job as usual at being the host of this, he said he had a hard time keeping track of everyone. This is the first time there were so many teams to follow, to keep track of at the same time, so he had to pick and choose, unfortunately. There were a few issues with some servers for a little while. It seemed, at least from what I could tell I was also looking at some different streams, it seemed that some PS5 players would seem to be like more stuck in queues than PC players, which should not be a thing because trios are just like it's PC and PS5 mixed together. So I don't know what happened there, but still, overall, no big issues. Was a great tournament. There we go. The winners that we got there, we got Rams, Stories, and Soup. Second place, Amp Ghost, Nevi, Dub Freak. Third place, Jabori, Keisha, and Patchmade J. Yeah, this was absolutely great. I like also that they, posted the scores for people to see. Also, one thing that's I found great is that Bez also posted the post-mortem learning notes of the tournament. I'm not gonna go through all of this because some of them need a little bit explaining. But yeah, go have a read at this if you have some suggestions to make. I suggest go tweet at him. He also has a Discord. Go follow him. Go on his streams if you have any other questions for him. But yeah, he talks about a lot of things. Yeah, if you have suggestions, if you want to pitch in and help for the next tournament, because yes, he is preparing another tournament. It's official. He's open to suggestions. It really seemed with the amount of people that were there, it seemed that he would have needed a little bit more extra help also on his end. So if you want to chip in into that'd be great. Also, let's remember that some of the prizes, or at least the tokens were given by Bloodhunt. The community reached out to Bezpart because he was saying he's arranging a tournament, so they reached out to him, helped with setting up a little bit of things, and with the tokens, and also promoted the tournament. If ever there's people out there that want to organize their own tournaments or their own events or anything, again, it is my weekly reminder to everyone. If you want to have something happen in the community, I would urge you to do it, but post it let people know that you want to organize something, at least have the basic structure of something organized. Spread out your interest, like you want to make something. I want to put something out there. You never know. You may have someone from the community team from Bloodhunt that might ask like, hey, how can we do to help? Do you have everything set up? Maybe you're going to have like some other people that might want to join in and help you with that or organize. But yes, we need more community events. We need more tournaments. We need stuff happening inside the community, and it's not going to come from the Bloodhunt side necessarily, okay? On their side, they have their hands full. It has to come from the community. So go out, find ideas on weird things to do, and also maybe during those little events, if it's not a tournament, if there's some events, maybe Tobias can come in and sneak and go like for your event. Feel like distributing some Techno Demon masks to people? He told me he's got a bunch of them that are just sitting there. We need to find a way to distribute them. So again, I'm weaving in my usual stuff about that through all of this. So yeah, community, wake up community, let's do something. Yes, imagine a custom icon banner being offered as a tournament prize to commemorate a major event. Yeah, that's a good idea to get some people to participate too. That would still require, you would need to check with Bloodhunt to see, can we dedicate time and resource for a person to actually add in the custom icon and banner. If they can do that, if they cannot do that, like we're gonna see. They can't necessarily, like as Combat said, it's a project that's been put on ice, probably because they have their hands full with other more important things than to, let's be honest, to raise egos. And the moment that some people know, the moment that there's someone in the community other than, let's say, Combat, like you've got a, like, let's say you've got a big streamer, let's say you got, I don't know, like, let's say you got Swa in here that gets his own like icon and banner. Who says that like there's not gonna be like practically everyone in the community going to like go like, can I have one as well? And they have to manage that as well. So I don't know. That's the thing. Let's move on because I've been talking a lot and we're close to like we've reached 1.5 hours of news, and I've been talking a lot, especially about this skill-based matchmaking thing. So let's boof this to the finish line. I want to, like, I know it's a self-promotion type of thing, but don't worry, there's something related to Bloodhunt in there. Some people might know that on February 2nd, I had my first subathon. That happened, and I had some goals. I had a few goals for that, and we've managed to reach some of them. You're gonna see on my stream very soon, either like later on today or maybe tomorrow in the morning. A scary game has been unlocked. I will start streaming Alien Isolation. I don't know for how long, but that will be happening on my stream. I managed to make a Discord, by the way. We've got a Discord now. If you want to join in the Discord, I've mentioned it earlier, the Discord was one of the goals. That was something that people have been asking me to do. So if you want to have everything regarding the news recaps, I have a special channel that is just about the news recaps that I'm going to post there. I'm going to post all the links. That's all going to be there. You're going to have like a section for all my tweets, so you don't miss out on important information that I tweet or retweet there. Like anything about Bloodhunt, where I get all my sources and all that stuff, that's all going to be there. And also anytime that I go live, also if you want that, it's all going to be posted there. And we could talk about other things and other games and other things, like in things that are related to me. And what I'm doing here. So if you want to follow, go ahead. I'm keeping these goals. As you can see, like it's right there. New subs for the month. I'm keeping this for the entire month. If you want to have some other things unlocked here, including not just the karaoke night, we're one away from unlocking the Discord karaoke night, but a lot of people have been asking me for months and months and months, could I start also not just reporting the news, but having a talk show? So I can, invite different people from the community. I have a list of people that I might be interested in inviting and talking about their stuff or talking about Bloodhunt, and might even have some devs, some ex-devs, some people maybe I can pull some people from World of Darkness, maybe that has been related to Bloodhunt, to maybe come and talk. Some people, some pro players, some new players, some people that have been like staples in the community, might all invite them in. Maybe some one-on-ones, maybe some roundtables. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm gonna make sure that it's still gonna be like super respectful of everyone that is a part of this community. And this is going to be like an incentive to, again, help build the community and help sustain it as much as I can. But it's mostly because, like, also, I don't know, every 2 or 3 weeks I get a DM asking me, like, why don't I do interviews and all that sort of stuff. So there you go. If that's my price, if you want me to start doing this, that's my price. Given some subs, I'm going to, like, unfortunately it's been a hell week for me, but I will be streaming more and more and try to get this objective obtained before the end of the month. There you go. How about people who were fired by Bloodhunt? Maybe. Let me know about that. Who've been fired by Bloodhunt? That'd be interesting. Let's see. I'm gonna have some guidelines though about like how these things are gonna be done, like what's gonna be the purpose, and things that you were not fired by Bloodhunt. You were not working. You were. Talk about that later, Motion. Talk about that later. You stay after the recording. We need to talk. So there's other things I want to touch on, like of the community that has to do with topics that have to do with the community, but that's gonna have to wait for some other weeks. We're gonna see about that. Now we are up to the part where we talk about what are we expecting now. Well, what are we expecting now? Next Friday, we're gonna have the last Twitch drop of this series of Twitch drops that we've been having since the beginning of the year. The Duskborn makeup that we're gonna have. Until then, right now, the outfit is available for anyone that stream. The current outfit, the Kill Time outfit, is available for everyone that has drops enabled on their Bloodhunt streams. Everyone can give out the drops. We are waiting for conclusions about things that are to like what's to come. We still we had the survey for the Hunter rifle update. We don't have any like conclusions or learnings articles that has come from that, so we're waiting for that. I'm expecting more tweaks to the matchmaking in the future. That's the crux of the topic of the moment, like along with performance issues. So we're gonna see if the fix that was put in yesterday, if they're going to do more changes to that, or maybe if we get more people back in the game, maybe that's going to be self-adjusting. Maybe it needs a little bit more tweaking. We're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. Just like let's hope that things are going to settle down a little bit. They're going to get a little bit back to normal after just, let's admit it, it's been a week of bad performance, like all across the board for Bloodhunt. But we hope that, like, after this has been like settled, then we're going to get like some more people playing back the game. Maybe things are going to be better. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. Pay attention to social media and Discord for more questions about feedback. Again, go into Bloodhunt Discord. In the feedback, there's a lot of discussions that are being happening here in Bloodhunt chat as well. There's a lot of dev participation that happens, even though like it's been getting spicy. It's been getting really spicy for a few people, for a bunch of stuff, for a bunch of reasons. I'm not gonna go into that. that's above my pay grade, and heat. I don't want to get this, like, I'm already getting some heat from just simply reporting the news already by default, saying apparently I'm a paid crony by Bloodhunt. Absolutely not. But anyways, and yeah, go follow my Discord. As a reminder, there's more and more people that are still, even though we've had a week of like bad performance, there's still some people that are discovering Bloodhunt. Remember that what you do and what you say can either welcome new players or push them away. So be aware of how you're talking about the game and how you're talking about the community. That has some impact, and gamers are very fickle. They're super, super fickle into what games they want to play, if they're gonna click start or not. So as a reminder to everyone, if you have any, if you pick up on some details that might be interesting or that might be newsworthy, don't hesitate to contact me. Let me know. Give me screenshots of convos or links to VODs or anything. I can't be everywhere on every stream. There's only 24 hours in a day. If you want to help me out, I would appreciate it. My DMs are open on practically any of the socials that are there. Thank you, Malcry. And yes, please give me a follow on Twitch. The channel is growing. I appreciate everyone for joining up. I appreciate everyone that's been giving out subs this month for my birthday. This is gonna help the channel. Like I said, like we're gonna actually start growing this year. We're gonna be doing some stuff. We're gonna be like doing some other stuff that's unrelated to Bloodhunt, but Bloodhunt's still gonna be number one. And remember that when I stream Bloodhunt, you get the special drops. I always make sure you get the special drops of the week. And I do some code giveaways once in a while. Sometimes it's just the purple jacket. Sometimes it's something else. Reminder that I still have 2 Techno Demon Mask codes in my back pocket. I'm just trying to find a way to distribute them, like have an event to give them out to people. Yes, and follow me on my Twitter. DMs are open for very many things. Makra, you got it. Makra. All right, season of love. Season of love. There, in the. Anyways, and that's it for us for sure. For the in terms of news, people on Twitch, please stick around after the recording. We're gonna do a giveaway, and please be kind to each other and be kind to yourself. Thank you for watching. I'll see you hopefully next week.